Everybody, welcome to the second season of the Let's Be Real show. I'm your boy OG Lil Cole.
And I'm Asia Say What with 2 T's.
And you know, I know we're going to have a lot of new viewers this season. You know what I'm saying? Because last season we did some big things.
Our goal was 1,500 viewers and we exceeded that by over 700 plus viewers.
So shout out to y'all.
Thank you to everyone who watched. So we're going to do a little introduction. So for those who don't know who I am, my name is Asia Garrison. I'm 19. I attend the University of Central Missouri and my major is digital media production with 2 emphasis on news and audio, and my minor is pre-law.
My name is Kobe Thompson. Y'all don't get to deserve my government name. Well, Kobe Thompson, I'm a junior at the University of Central Missouri. I'm also a digital media production major, and my emphasis is on audio. Oh, and I'm also a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Yo to the good noobs.
Now, before we start, we just want to give a couple shout outs because as you guys know, we stopped the season kind of halfway towards the end of the summer. So before we start, we want to give a big shout out to our camera guy,
CJ from the South,
who is no longer with us, but him and his friend Chrissy are down in South Carolina making moves. So check out Bulldog Bite when you guys get a chance. Just search it on YouTube, Bulldog Bite. They're at USC, CJ's at Claflin, and they are making moves. Go check it out. Their last episode was about cuffing season, and it's really good. Also, we want to thank all the people who watched the show last season. And if you coming back, we really rocks with y'all. We appreciate y'all so much. So
make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell people about
us.
We're trying to put the city on the map, guys. And in order for us to do that, we need y'all help. And, okay, so you guys know before every show I do something called Jobs with 2 T's. I'm going to do it a little differently this time. I actually don't have any jobs for you because I want to know who watching. I know it's a lot of college students watching. So if you at Mizzou when you watching, tweet us and let us know. If you at UMKC, let us know because I'm going to make the jobs based off of your areas.
I'm going to give a little plug for the UCM students. UCM students, sign up for Mules for Hire.
Controversial because you have the kids that go to an HBCU who say they feel like they're getting more of the college experience. They feel like they're going to be further in life versus the children, well not children, versus the kids who go to a PWI. Now, me and Cole go to a PWI. Our school is 6.2% black and we representing for the black community up here in Warrensburg. We're representing. So,
what's up, my fellow Warrensburgians?
What it do, y'all? So, we're going to let you guys know what the hashtags for tonight is. If you go to a HBCU, please use the hashtag LBRS HBCU.
And with that being said, I'm going to let you guys know why I chose the school I went to. And it's pretty simple. They gave me some money to come to school. That's about it. I'm not going to lie, I kind of did want to go to a HBCU. But the way my finances was looking, and then the way UCM was trying to throw me that bread, I had to come here. I was like, man, I might as well go somewhere than be nowhere. What about you, Asia? Why'd you come to UCM?
And with me, that's kind of the same reason as well. I really wanted to go to an HBCU. Ever since I was in high school, 9th grade, I kept saying I'm going to go to HBCU. I wanted to go to Spelman. I wanted to go to Clark. I just really, really wanted to go to an HBCU. But every time I applied for an HBCU, my dad would say stuff to me like, you know, college is big business. College ain't nothing but a business. And when I think about that, spending $30,000 to $35,000, some people $40,000 on school is just absolutely ridiculous. The only way I am going to spend $40,000 on school is if I'm guaranteed a job coming right out of college making $70,000 a year. That is the only way. So I want to know from the people that go to a HBCU, paying for school is very expensive. Are you okay with that? The student loans, the debt, is it worth it? Is it worth being in $100,000 worth of debt attending an HBCU? Is the history worth, why do you choose an HBCU? I know I was texting a few people asking them for their opinions. Raquel and Solomon gave very strong opinions. They go to Solomon. They go to Howard, and I know for Solomon, his dad went to a HBCU. Raquel, her mom went to a HBCU. So they just felt like legacy. They felt obligated almost to go to an HBCU. They felt like that would be the best fit for them. So what about you? Why did you choose an HBCU? We're going to be checking the tweets, LBRS HBCU.
And while we checking the tweets, it's time for my little personal section called Story Time with OG. So today in the story time, I'm going to just tell you a little story about me and my mom. So I was talking to my mom one day, and we were really going back and forth. And I was like, I can't wait to be out of school. And she was like, what are you ready to get out of school for? To work for the rest of your life? And that kind of hit me in a certain type of way. So, again, I'm going to go back to saying how I wanted to go to a HBCU, because I just knew HBCUs, they turn up. They turn up all the time. And not that I want to go to school just to turn up. Of course, I want to get a degree, but they have a great time while they're at school. And I don't think all the time we get that same experience at a predominantly white institution. You know what I'm saying? Because just with all the different, you know, ethnicities and stuff like that, but it's majority white people at our school. So they probably have the most fun, but I don't think we all get the same type of experience. I'm going to stop you
right there and throw out a little stats. Because you said turning up. A lot of people go to HBCUs for turning up. But can that turning up explain the graduation rate for HBCUs?
Turn up!
Could that explain the graduation rate for HBCUs? Because there are only 4 HBCUs with the graduation rate over 50%. And that is Spelman, Morehouse, Howard, and Hampton. And there's also an HBCU with a graduation rate of 11%, but that school is turned. I heard nothing of, dang, I'm having all. Anyways, I don't hear anything about parties at this school. And the graduation rate is 11%. Texas Southern. So are they turning up too much where they can't focus on their school, or is it the money why people aren't finishing? I want to know why. Why is that school graduation rate 11%?
I think the money definitely
I think the turning up has a lot to do with it as well.
I mean, the turning up definitely has something to do with it, but the money, like you said, college is expensive. Now, I remember coming back to school my sophomore year, I was like, man, I don't know how I'm finna pay for school. Just off the simple fact, college is a lot of money. Like, if you go to school, you're spending a lot of money. So the 11%, yeah, it has a lot to do with turning up, but probably a lot of people that go to TSU aren't from Texas. So they might be spending out-of-state tuition to go to that school.
About double.
And that's about double.
That's true.
So maybe their freshman year, that was in their finances, but then sophomore year, life hit a different way, and they couldn't afford to be at that school anymore, so they had to go somewhere closer to home.
True. But then you had a PWIs. Their graduation rate, I'm looking right here, 82%, 87%, 92%, 91%. The lowest graduation rate that a PWI has for blacks, I'm talking about black people, is 64%. 64% is the average. But most schools are coming out with blacks 82, 87, 84, 92, 81, 90. Like, the list goes on and on. And my question is, why is that?
I mean, but like, you know, but we didn't tell them this yet. This show is all about crowd interaction.
But matter of fact, we got an interaction.
So just keep using the hashtag.
Let us know what's going on.
Add us, OG Look Ho.
Asia Say What with 2 T's. You can tweet us, text us, let us know. So Aubrey, who is actually a Mizzou student, and she's from Jamaica. She went to U City with me, so shout out to U City. She's from Jamaica, though.
What's up, U City?
And she said HBCUs are cool and everything, but at the end of the 4 years, I have to pay that money back. So I went where I got the most money, LBRS, PWI. And she attends Mizzou right now. So Mizzou was giving her the most money. So is that experience worth $100,000 in debt? Ain't no experience worth me having to pay back $100,000. You know, that's just my opinion. And also, I want to talk about why are the standards lower for blacks to get in? Why are the standards lower for black schools versus PWIs? And I'm going to tell y'all why. The average black ACT is a 17.
While the average white person ACT score is 21.
And this is recent, 2013.
2013.
Stats. Your average school requires a 21. The average to get in any school is a 21 ACT. Ours is a 17. That means we can't really go nowhere. We can't get into any school.
And this is not funny, y'all, but I don't know why I'm laughing, but it's just...
It's like, are we being set up to fail? Because the competition begins when you have that black girl from Harvard and that black girl from Spelman. Exactly.
But with that being said, I have a... If you guys really know me, you know I have a best friend. She goes to Howard. Her name's Geraldine. What's up, Nani? But yeah, I have a best friend that goes to Howard, and we were sitting back talking about just like kind of what she said. You know, the system is kind of set up, not really set up for black people to be you know, very successful. But that's a whole different show for a whole different day. Just tune in. But I got to asking her. I was like, when that time comes for you to graduate, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna, you know, apply for jobs that, you know, different black girls applied for that went to PWIs? And she was just like, I might just have to stay in a black-owned like society, if that makes sense. I had to apply for jobs where black people are CEOs and they're owners of the company. And I feel like that she's cutting half of her options off.
Yeah, I would have to disagree. Like, when people used to say, why do you want to go to HBCU? You have to learn how to interact with different people. Hello, I've been interacting with different people my whole entire life. Me going to an all-black school would not stop me from being able to interact with white people.
That's not true. I'm going to let you finish. That's not true, though. But keep going.
I'm just saying, like, I don't like when people say that. Like, as soon as every time I tell people I want to go to an HBCU, you have to learn how to interact with all people. For this one. I'm gonna know how to interact with all people. I've been interacting with all people my whole life. Just because my professors are black or my students that I go to school with, my peers are black, doesn't mean when I go to the grocery store, I'm not interacting with the white person. You get what I'm saying?
That's the grocery store. I'm
just saying, in life, that doesn't mean you don't know how to interact with other people. Especially, most people that go to HBCUs went to all white high schools.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? They went to all white high schools.
But my biggest thing is college is where you really learn your tools for success in the working field. If you learn your tools for success in the working field, you're gonna learn them around all different people that you're similar to. If that makes sense, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why wouldn't you broaden your horizon and you learn more from different people? Because in the working field, you're gonna have to learn how to work with everybody. So I feel like going to HBCU, like sometimes I feel like going to a HBCU is you're like trying to duck and dodge the white man or something. Like,
no,
that doesn't make sense to me.
I disagree 100%. I disagree with that. That you just want to be around your own people. And I'm pretty pro-black, cool. So I understand that. Like, you want to be around your own people. Going to an HBCU doesn't mean you're ducking and dodging anything. Like, that's...
I mean, that's just my personal...
But you know what? We want to hear what you guys have to say. Tweet us, LBRS, PWI, LBRS, HBCU. Also, follow our Instagram and Twitter page. If y'all don't know, we do have an Insta and Twitter. And it's
we begin live.
And it's _ LBRS show. LBRSHOW. Follow that. So we're going to check a few tweets and a few texts. We really want to know what you guys got to say. You can check yours from here.
All right.
Also, since we brought up the we brought up the ACT. I want to ask a question. Do you guys feel like the ACT is designed for African Americans to fail? Because I think so.
And why is that, Asia?
Who makes the test?
White people.
Maybe if it was, you know, and I really do think it's designed for us to fail, because you're pretty much saying if you don't get that 30 on your ACT, you're not capable of going to a Harvard. An ACT does not measure your intellectual capabilities. Because I'm a terrible test taker. The absolute worst. But my ACT score shouldn't define my intelligence. Why does an ACT define your intelligence? And that's the question. That's what I really want to go into right now.
Viewers, you might not know this about Asia, but she's very pro-black. She was a Black Panther in her before life. She thinks the whole world is set up for us to not be successful.
It is.
And that's
why we have to work 10 times harder in everything that we do. If you watched our season finale about how black men feel in America, almost every black man felt like they have to work 100 times harder than the white person.
We do. We have to work harder, but that comes with the territory. That's something that we are born into knowing. I don't feel like that's something that we should be like, man, I gotta work harder than everybody else, blah, blah, blah. When I was born, when I was 5 years old, my mom was like, you're gonna have to do this 10 times harder than the people around you.
But why did she tell you that?
Because I'm a black man in America. I don't think the system's set up for us to fail, but that's just the way it works.
I think the system is set up for us to fail.
It's just the way it works. And I feel like the ACT is not like, I'm a terrible test taker as well. So I don't believe the ACT is like the ultimate judge of, yeah, he's very, very smart or he's very, very slow. Because me and Asia were talking about earlier, I know guys that I went to high school with, they had 2.0s the whole year. But then when the ACT came around, they got like 29s, 28s, 27s. Like, I don't feel like the ACT is the ultimate judge of intelligence. Now, I think standardized test taking I don't want to say it's a must, but it kind of shows where you are in a way, because everybody has to take this test. So you can feel like you're a very, 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 very smart individual, but if you take this test, they take this test. Like, everybody has to take the test. There's no shortcuts. There's no cheating in the test. So it's a standardized test. Everybody takes it.
Okay, we have a couple of responses from our audience. She said, I chose my school because I've never been to a predominantly white school. Oh, I've been in predominantly white schools my whole life. So far, I love it. The experience is like no other. LBRS, HBCU. And she attends Clark Atlanta.
But the experience, like that was really why I wanted to go. The experience. But is that experience gonna pay your bills and get you a degree?
And we also have someone else, Brianna. She said, I don't feel attending an HBCU would prepare me for the real world, which is ran by white people. The career field I'm going into is ran by white people, so I'll make better connections with people in my career field at a PWI. And you know, and this is I'm gonna drift off a little bit. Everybody keeps saying everything is ran by white people. You know, it's a lot of stuff that's ran by black people, but we don't know. You want to know why we don't know?
Because we don't support black-owned businesses.
We don't support black-owned businesses. We don't support our own people. It's a lot of black-owned businesses in this world, and we don't support them. That's why everybody feels obligated to go to the white man, go to their business. But we're our own CEOs. We own our own businesses. My dad's an entrepreneur. Shout out to Carpet Masters Cleaning Company Corporation, LLC.
That's a lot of C's.
Shout out to him. If you need your carpet cleaned,
what's up, Mr. Garrison?
You know, in the metropolitan area in St. Louis, give them a ring. Another black-owned business.
All right, I'm going to get back on topic.
I'm just saying, support your people.
I'm going to get back on topic.
That way we won't have to go to white people for jobs. We can just go next door and get a job from them. I challenge every black person that's listening to me right now to spend $20 a week at a black business. I don't care what type of business it is. Spend $20 a week. I challenge you. I challenge you to do that. And watch a difference will be made for black people. Back on topic.
I'm gonna get back on topic, but I'm gonna kind of agree with Brianna, because one thing I'm noticing, you know, I'm a junior at the university, so I'm getting kind of deeper into my core, you know, major classes. It's like 3 black people in them. And I understand that I go to a school that doesn't have a lot of black people to begin with, but that just kind of shows me the kind of field I'm going into, you know, because I know one class, I think I'm the only black person in there. And that's crazy.
And another thing I want to ask people for HBCUs that attend there, I know for us, like with us being maybe 1 or 2 black people in the class, it can be, I feel like some of the white students try to intimidate black students. Like, white students get very opinionated when it's 2 black people in the classroom. It's very strong opinions versus if it's a classroom full of black people and 2 white people, you won't hear that. Or maybe half and half. Is that a reason why you guys went to HBCU, so you wouldn't have to deal with the opinions of white people? Because I find myself arguing or having debates with white people almost every week.
But I feel like that goes back to ducking and dodging.
True. Because I feel like I'm always at war with whites in my class. Like, it's me versus them. And I don't feel like I should feel that way. And maybe at an HBCU, I would not feel that way. I feel like we're all one. We're all going for the same thing.
But that's ducking and dodging. The world doesn't work that way. Do you think it's gonna be roses and bubbles with everybody you bump into? Like, yes, we're all one. We're all trying to be the same. No, somebody gonna try to beat you out for that job spot. Somebody gonna try to beat you out for that parking spot. Somebody like, it's always something. You always gonna run into different little nicks and necks.
So do you really feel like it's a competition between HBCUs and PWIs?
I say it's a competition. I say it's a competition only for enrollment, if that makes sense. Because HBCUs, like, listen, y'all gonna have to, you know, I'm gonna have to be the hated face for the HBCU right now. I just feel like
God.
I'll take it. But HBCUs, they pride themselves on the history. Like, I don't know how many HBCUs will go out here and just be like, listen, this is our curriculum, this is what we doing for you, blase, blase, blase. They're gonna like, man, you know how much history's in this school? Blank went here, blank went here, blank went here. What do all them people got to do with me graduating, fam?
You know what? And history, you can't live today without bringing up yesterday.
What does that have to do with me walking across the stage? Colburn Thompson. Yeah, I gave you out my government. Feel lucky. Colburn Thompson. What does that have to do with me walking across the stage and me getting a 6-figure job? Because Martin Luther King went here.
And you know what? Honestly, You know what? I agree with you, but then again, I don't agree with you. But one thing I'm gonna agree with is that I feel like with HBCUs, only people that care about that is black folks.
Yes.
If you tell a white person, "Oh, I went to Spelman," what is that? I'm like, well, that's the Harvard to us. What do you mean? But
yeah, bro, I went to Morehouse. Oh.
You know, and we're no shade being thrown, but that's the question we want to ask people that go to HBCUs.
Y'all can throw shade at my school.
Throw shade at
my school.
Let us know why y'all didn't want to go to that PWI.
I'm not gonna be a mule forever. I'm just a mule till I walk the stage.
You know, I have a friend. His name is Mike Hall. He went to Harvard. You know, but now he's at Morehouse, and he said he went to Harvard because he felt like shade being thrown in Morehouse. But once again, when you go into a job and you have these two pieces of paper, one resume says Harvard, the other one says Morehouse. Which one holds more weight? With the same credentials, the exact same credentials.
And like we said, HBCUs only mean something to black people. And I have not met one white person or Mexican or anybody else that be like, wow, they go to Clark Atlanta. Just for an example. I'm not throwing shade at Clark Atlanta. But that's just for an example. But to black people, like if somebody told me they go to Morehouse, I'm gonna be like, man, how's Morehouse? I know y'all be kicking it. Y'all be jamming, boy.
And a white person, I'm like, what is
y'all be jamming, boy.
Okay, we have a couple tweets we want to read because once again, y'all, let's reenact the rules. This is an audience reacting show. We need y'all to make this possible. So I want to shout out to everybody who's tweeting, texting, letting us know y'all opinion because we really want to know how y'all feel about this.
Shout out to y'all.
Know how we feel. We want to know how y'all feel.
I'm very opinionated.
LBRS, PWI, the ACT and SAT is about strategy. You can read a book and practice skills to help you. I got an 18 the first try, and the 23rd the second. LBRS, PWI, I don't believe that blacks have to work 10 times harder. A lot of people are born into families thinking that, which can be a stereotype. And that's a fellow UCM student. Shout out to her, you know what I'm saying? And
I'm going to have to disagree with the second one. The first one, I understand exactly what you're talking about because I definitely got like a 17, 18, and then I finally hit the 20, you know. But having to work harder, a black man in America, we always got to work harder. That's just my personal.